ahead and get started. Just the very All right, as soon as Robert Disberger finds his seat, we're going to go ahead and get started. So. everybody's waiting on Robert. All right, since he's not finding a seat, I'm going to call him out here. Robert, can you join me up here for just a minute? Let's get the crowd pumped up a little bit. Come on out here. I'm going to let you lead us in a cheer to kind of get the juices flowing. So if you want to do one of your famous cheers, I recommend Guinness tea.
Yeah.
All right.
Where's Jeff? Jeff Shirley. Where's Jeff?
Jeff's kids will get mad at him if he does it, but yours won't.
All right, guys, let's do the famous thunder cheer. You ready? So give me a T. Give me an H. Give me an under. What do you got? Woo!
All right, thank you, Robert. All right, in true homeschool fashion, we're going to kick this thing off 9 minutes late. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Welcome to the 2022-2023 Manhattan Chief Basketball Banquet / Celebration / Award Ceremony, highlighted with ice cream later. Who's excited? All right. All right, before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. Girls' bathrooms over there, boys' bathrooms are over there. Lost and found is on that table right over there. At the end of the night, all that stuff has to be gone. So give you like an hour to claim your stuff. After that, it's all fair game. Anything that's left on that table, we're just going to donate to the Beacon Center mission. So it's going away regardless. If you haven't already, uniforms are right behind Mickey, Brian, and Nate. They're guarding the uniforms for us. Thanks, guys. All right, so we're going to try to get through this timely. We've got a lot of good stuff, a lot of awards to hand out, got some highlights, and then we'll do dessert last. Just wanted to start off by saying thanks to a few people. So, Trina Steinbach, she's first on the list. Is Trina here? Anyway, she volunteered to do the Sign Up Genius. I think everybody saw emails from her. That's a big deal for me. That was kind of one of my early stressors, is taking over as the new AD. That takes a lot of pressure off. A lot of organization goes into that, and it really helped me out. So thanks to her for that. I wanted to thank the team cooks that went to nationals. I understand it was cooked by committee this year. So for the boys team, Amy Upshaw and Lentz. Lentz was the helper. Amy was the brains of the operation. And they couldn't be here tonight, but they did a bang-up job for the boys, and I assure you they did not go hungry. As a matter of fact, some of the coaches and the ADs I know gained a few pounds. And then Melinda Keeling orchestrated the meals for the girls team, so thanks her for that. That's a blessing to have somebody that can coordinate that, takes the pressure off the coaches when we go to do that. And like I said, I think all the moms that were along on those trips helped out as well, and that was appreciated. So thanks to Jeff Shirley. He's the one that coordinated our programs this year. There are a few programs left over. If you didn't get one, feel free to take one. I think the ones that we have left are the ones for the seniors that have the senior inserts. So grab one of those if you didn't get one, or if you just want extras to maybe give to some in-laws on your way out. So exciting season. I'm also excited that it's coming to a conclusion, because that means a lot of us can get to some of the things that we've been putting off for like the last 6 months. I know my wife's excited for that, and she's got a great list that we're going to be working on. But a lot of success this year. One of my favorite things to do, nothing against some of the bigger kids that have all the skills and the ups and all that stuff, but one of my favorite things to do is watch the little kids as they come in. And because when I first started with Chief, I was coaching the junior high boys team, and it just amazed me how some of these kids that would come in with absolutely no basketball skills, literally we had a couple of kids that when they shoot, it would go over the backboard. And then by the time they got to the high school ages, they were contributors, some of them even starting. And so that was a big deal. It's always fun for me to see growth on the court, growth off the court, and So we're going to celebrate a lot of that tonight. One of the things that I like to share, shared it at the start of the year. I know I didn't see everybody that's in this room. One of my philosophies about basketball and why we take it so seriously and dedicate so much energy to it is kind of the philosophy of basketball is just an artificial environment that we've created to test the characters of our young men and women, as well as us adults, whether it be a fan, whether it be a coach, athletic director, because at the end of the day, basketball is really not that serious. It's mostly serious, but there's plenty of room for life. There's more to life than just basketball. So what we try to do is we try to train our young kids. We try to use basketball as a tool to help them mature on the court, off the court with their teammates, trying to teach them team concepts. And so that as they go through life, as they take that next step after basketball, they're better prepared to be a good teammate, to be a good spiritual leader, and that's kind of our mission here. So hopefully we've accomplished that this year. I know there was a few bumps along the way, but for the most part, I think we're going to call it a success. We measure success at my house after an event. If everybody's still breathing, we call it a success. So I feel pretty good about this year's event. So with that, we're going to start off with, Kathy is here. So we're going to start off with the junior high girls. I'm going to turn this over to Nate and Kathy. They're going to talk about our girls, junior high girls.
All right. So let's have the junior high girls, A team and B team, come on up here. Make your way up here quickly. Yeah, it's fun to get to start off the event and to recognize these players. We had a lot of girls come out this year for junior high basketball, and initially that was a little bit intimidating, but it was such a great season. So I'm going to let Kathy talk about the B team first. She'll introduce them, and then she's got a few things she's going to say. So.
Okay, I promised him I'd talk really fast, so I had to type it out so I could go real fast. But I just couldn't let it go by without saying just a couple of sentences about the girls that I worked directly with. So I'm just going to get started so they don't take the mic away from me. All right, Piper Hendricks. We had some practice girls. We had 5 practice girls. Piper Hendricks, is she here? Down there? Okay, so this was Piper's second year on the practice team. She's quiet, but she has a great attitude, and she'll play any position that I ask her to play in practice. She was able to play in the NEKPL tournament and was the first of the practice players to sub in. She gets the Outstanding Sportsmanship Award. Caitlin Stutzman. Caitlin handles the ball well for her age. Caitlin played in the NEKPL. I have to tell you that when I first called Caitlin up to sub, she literally wrapped her feet and her hands around the chair she was sitting in. She was afraid to come forward, but by the end of that tournament, when I would call up Caitlin, she was rushing up to me and ready to jump in. So that was really fun to see her to do that. She got the Outstanding Effort Award. All right, Abby Bench. Abby came out a little bit late in the season, but jumped right into practice, so you'd never know that she came in a little late. In the NEKPL, Abby didn't hesitate to shoot, and in fact, she earned a trip to the free throw line in the NEKPL. She was also quite eager to go into the game against the moms when her mom was in to play. So she gets the Team Player Award. Nita Nobles. Nita Nobles is attentive. She has great ideas. She asks lots of questions, and she asks if she can try new things, which they all know that I love. She's coachable, even when she's put into a position that's not her favorite. I look forward to seeing her next year. She gets the Best Listener Award. Sophie Petticord, you all know her, and you know her spunk, which she comes by naturally. Sophie is a vocal player. She is a huge cheerleader for her team and every other team in this program. She has great leadership skills on the court, but not just leadership skills in telling people what to do. She also cares, and that's a really giant quality in a good leader. So Sophie gets the Team Pride Award. All right, Keely McJunkin, number 55. Keely's a super fun kid. If you have spent any amount of time with Keely, you will know that she has a great laugh. She is a lefty. She's really great rebounder, and she's great left-hand shot from that wing position. It was really neat to see her confidence grow as we progressed throughout the season. Keely got the Never Quit Award. Claire Stotsman, number 30. I can't see all of you. I hope you're down there. Okay. Claire is tough. She rebounds really well, and she did really well at putting the ball right back up, which she worked on and she just improved throughout the season. She really liked that high post position. A lot of her shots were from inside the paint. She found her confidence, it seems, during the NEKPL tournament. She scored a lot of baskets during that tournament, and it was really great to see that. And then she played a lot of great minutes the rest of the season. She got the Outstanding Player Award. These awards are from me, by the way. I just made them up. All right, and then Felicity Schrader, number 13. Felicity is a rebound queen. I will often put her in and I'll give her a charge. Felicity, I need rebounds. And she just smiles and nods and goes right up to the table. She's great at stealing the ball too. She scored 14 points this season, 8 of those, and in one amazing game against KC Metro, she helped us to seal that win. She got the Most Improved Player award for this season. All right, Amelise Sylvester. Amelise is a mighty player. She's tough. She's quick. She's really fun to watch driving into traffic. Like, she doesn't mind doing that at all. She's fun on defense, but even more fun on offense. She shoots really well from the outside. One of her first baskets this season was a big shot from way outside against Veritas right on the buzzer of the third quarter. I'll say it was a 3. The book said it was 2, but we'll just go with 3. All right, she got the In It to Win It award. Kendra Steinbach, I don't think she's here tonight. She's another spunky player. She's eager to shoot. She's fast and tough on defense. She's fearless against those older, bigger players. I usually will say, Kendra, ball. You guys have probably heard me say that, and she's on it. She had lots of steals or forced turnovers. And she had an important basket in our win against Lincoln B at the Lincoln tournament. So she got the Love of the Game award. Gloria Herman, number 40. My favorite basketball quality of Gloria, and I say this a lot, the coaches can testify to that, is that she's really good at seeing an open player and sending great passes right to them, even when you're in heavy traffic, like in a rebound. Some of those passes make me gasp. I kind of like, oh, no, okay, and it makes it right to them. So she had a lot of numerous vital assists and rebounds for the season, and she always did it wearing that hot pink headband. So she got the Rookie of the Year award. Okay, Ella Moldrep, number 32. She is a serious player. She's a strong defender, tough as nails. She shoots, steals, drives. She's super tough on defense. She was the second highest this season for fouls. All right, that just shows her defensive spunk, right? Also, trivia here for Ella is that she made half of her points this season from free throws, which is pretty cool for junior high girls. She got the Game Changer Award. Okay, Piper Zimmerman. There you are. Piper has perfected her drive this year. There was one practice where I kept pushing and pushing and pushing for her to turn and drive against hard defense, and she did it. And I think everybody in the gym could hear me jump and scream. I was so excited, and I was like, you're going to be a great post player. I was super excited. She will go straight toward the basket, or she will cross diagonally on her drives, and it's just really fun to watch. She's a really tough rebounder. Her basketball IQ is really strong. She's an encourager for her team, which is a great quality, and for her coaches. She's the second highest scorer for the junior high B team with 66 points this season. She got the Most Dependable award. Lydia Zachary. Are you down there? Okay, there you are. All right. She probably ties for one of the players who puts in the most work outside of practice. She will do and play anywhere I ask her to. Even though I've been determined to make her a post player, and she's accepted that challenge pretty well. I keep telling her she's going to grow 2 more feet. She doesn't believe me yet, but she is really consistent. She's quiet, and some of her work might go unnoticed because she plays really low, and there's a lot of action going on around the perimeter. But I do see it, Lydia, and I'm really proud of your effort this season. She got the Most Consistent Player award. All right, Eliza Sapp. Okay, I wrote like a giant paragraph about Eliza, and I cut it down. She is an incredibly hard worker in and out of the gym. I have the luxury of being her neighbor, and I can look out my front window and see her practicing up the hill, which is always really cool to see. She's a really well-balanced player. She likes to win, but she has a great attitude when it doesn't work out that way. I often have said that Eliza is my thermostat for this team. If things are going, well, and like if we're doing a drill or something, and Eliza's happy and it's working, then I know, okay, we're good. Eliza's happy. So that was a big helper to me this year. She cares a lot about her team. She's very caring, and she cares about her coaches. She was the third highest scorer with 34 points on the junior high B team. She got the leadership award for this team. Okay, and last but definitely not least, Sophie Wertenberger, number 21. She was point guard for this team. She's a standout player. There were many times when opposing coaches would come to me and say, wow, that point guard of yours, or that number 21. And I'd be like, I know, right? She is incredibly eager to shoot. She's incredibly eager to shoot threes. In fact, her first and last points of the season were threes. The very first shot and the last shot were threes. She led the team in points and in fouls, which just also, again, shows her spunk. She had 27 fouls for the season. And then Sophie had 98 points for this season, which is pretty incredible for a junior high girls B player. Sophie got the MVP for the junior high B. Thank you guys again. Thank you, parents, for allowing me to coach your girls.
Awesome. Thank you, Kathy. You did such a good job. Okay, we'll have the B team players go ahead and sit down. And stay up here if you played any minutes on A team. So there's a couple of them that played on both teams. So Piper and Sophie, come on back up. All right, so this was a joy to coach this team for me. I've been an assistant coach for a couple years in Chief and loved both of those years. This year, just because of coaching changes, I stepped into the head coach role for the first time. I'd never done that before. And this group of young women were just such a gift to me to be able to coach them and to help them walk through their long season. We got to play 34 games this year, which was a lot of games. And our goal from the beginning was to get better, to player development. I just kind of preached that. I said, hey, you're not going to remember your junior high record. These years are to get better and to love the game, to be a good teammate. And they really embraced that, but they wanted to win. They had that fire in them, and every game we lost, there were tears, and that was hard for me to know how to process, learning how to be that coach. But it was such a joy, and I want to speak into that and just say, parents of these players, you guys are doing such a great job, because the culture of the program, while, yes, the head coach has a part of that, I mean, a lot of it is these young women and who they are and their maturity. They're great teammates. They're team players. They're very teachable. They're not prideful. They don't look out for themselves. They're goofy. We had one practice where they just kind of let loose and were being so goofy before nationals. I think they just kind of lost it. They're just throwing the ball anyway. But they're a lot of fun. They have a lot of fun together, and then they're very competitive, which was a blessing to me because I'm that way. I really want to win. So this team, they played together as a team. They passed the ball really well. That was something we worked on from the beginning, is just looking for your teammates and learning how to move the ball with the pass, and they excelled at that. We had so many assists on baskets this year. From the beginning of the season, I had 3 goals for our team. I wanted us to be an encouraging team to one another. I wanted us to play confidently. And then I wanted us to grow in our decisiveness, to make quick decisions, because basketball is all about half-a-second decisions. And I would say that each player totally did all 3 of those things. I saw that in them throughout the season. So I'll just introduce them. Helen helped us coach both teams. So that's Helen here. We've got Michaela, Liz, Brooklyn, Sophie, Kalia, Zoe, Josie, Hannah, Braylon, Charlie, and Piper. And this was the A team, and man, we had a lot of fun. So, okay, I've got 3 awards to give out tonight, and I want to start with the most improved player. And so this player, I saw them grow a lot, especially in their toughness and their mindset. And I think just getting out there and going after it. This year, this player played with another level of fire. And towards the end of the season, she totally won a role on the team. She carved out a role on the team, and it was really easy for me to put her in. So, most improved player goes to Zoe Werdenberger. All right, this next award is the Coaches Award, and I mean, honestly, like what I've said, so many players deserve this award, but there was one, as I thought about our season, that absolutely deserves this award. She was a team leader in so many ways. We asked her to play a new role this season, one that she hadn't played before, and she excelled at it. She was always excited to play. There was one tournament where we were at the last game of the tournament, and people were pretty exhausted. And I asked everyone, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, you know, where's your excitement level? And she was like 9.5. Like, I am all the way there. She loves basketball. She has great basketball IQ and just a great mindset. She's a tough player. I gave her an assignment to guard probably the biggest girl we play, and just to guard her, like face guard her the whole game, and she ate it up. She's like, put me in, coach. I want to do it. And so she was such a fun player to coach, and really, really excited to give this award. Coach's Award to Michaela Muir. All right. And that leaves the MVP for our season. This player led the team in points and steals. So she had 303 points on the season. She was very consistent from the first game to the last. You could count on her. She had 132 steals, which is incredible. So she would steal the ball, and then just kind of like when we were winning, you would see her dribble down the court and make the layup. Steal the ball, dribble down the court, and make the layup. And so that was really fun for me. Like I said, she was locked in from the get-go. And so just mental toughness, physical toughness. There was a game against Waha where Michaela was sick, and I found out just right in the morning. And this player, I turned to her and I said, I'm pretty sure you're going to play the whole game, so get ready. And she did, and from that point on, I was like, okay, she can play. She can play whenever I need her. There was a moment in our season we were down in Hutch playing Reno, and we were down 2, under a minute left, and she got a really critical 4-point play, super exciting, made the 3, got fouled, made the free throw, and put the game away in one fell swoop, and so exciting. So she really stepped up this year and so deserving of this award. So the MVP is Kalia Sylvester. All right. So yeah, give this team a hand. We won 27 games, so great job.
All right, thank you very much. And while we're on the subject of lots of games, a little side note is, as the new athletic director, I always worry about playing too many games, but there was one coach throughout the year that was always on me, in my grill, Doug, we got to get more games. And I'm not going to say who it was, but her initials are Kathy Ryan. So, if you're looking for somebody to blame it on. All right. Next up, we got our junior high boys, so I'm going to ask Coach Kraus to come up. And junior high boys, can find your ways down here.
Yeah, Rory. All right, so while they make their way down here, I do want to give a couple of thank yous. First off, thank you to the parents for getting the players here. As you notice, this is a big group to get here, so appreciate the parents for getting them here, getting the uniforms washed, cleaning up after them. Big help. Additionally, to the filmers, Kabeb and Kathy Ryan took on a lot of the filming for us for varsity program and the girls varsity, so I appreciate that so much. And Kabeb also took a few heated situations down at Nationals, so Big thanks to him. That was over 200 hours of film time this year. So calculate that out. That's over 8.5 days of film. Also to the ADs, appreciate your efforts for keeping everything moving and scheduled and trying to keep me in a timely and inline position. And then a special thanks to Mickey and Rory for helping me out here. This is a lot of guys. I don't know if you've ever been here for the practice, but man, it was noisy. With that many kids in here and the balls going, it was something to listen to, I guess, if you will. Doug gave thanks to the Upshaws, but again, she helped keep us fed and on the move as we were a separate team down at Nationals. And then Kurt Muldrup, special thanks to you for helping us out with the boys down at Nationals, driving them back and getting them to the Bass Pro, feeding them all the ice cream. That helped some of the. Actually, that was not on him. So, and then last, I'm sure I forgot other people, but Casey, thanks for all you've done, all the time that you spent on this program, the strategy, the talks, getting the refs here, and the inner monster speech that I'll never forget. So, real quick, we got 26 players, and I was told I have about a minute each player, so I'll settle in. I'm just joking. So here's our journey. We had 65 games, so that's a lot of games to get prepared for. 6 tournaments. We had a great group of guys, and as you can see, there's a lot of discrepancy between these players. So Doug is right. When you see some of these guys come out here, it's hard for them just to get the ball to the basket. So we'll show you in the highlights how they've improved over the year. And that goes out to Mickey and Rory, get them down there going through a lot of drills for these young guys. Couple of little known facts. We have some dancers in the group, probably better than the high schoolers. So I think over Nationals, I couldn't get the pictures, but we had Jack dancing, we had Caleb, Logan, Lincoln, Braden. We had a lot of dancers in there. So I've asked him to dance here. No? And then parents, to you as we have devotions after practice, I think the favorite class that was reported was history. I don't know what it is about history, but that was by far the class that outpaced anything. A couple of things here as well, highs and lows for our season. We got beat one game by 41 points. That was definitely my low of the season. I had a long conversation going home with Casey on, how can this team is really good, how can we go there? And then not but maybe 2 weeks later, we turned around and played that same team to an overtime 4-point loss, which is the same team that actually won Nationals. So this is a great team. They had a great year, and I appreciate all they did. So give them a round of applause. Let's go to awards. Actually, let's start with this one here. So the Coach's Award. This guy was new to the program, but his demeanor, his efforts, his ability to listen to the coaches in an environment that was really noisy was uncanny. So this award, Coach's Award, goes to Henry Anholtz. We had a little bit of mess up in the awards, but I want to recognize this player for the most improved. He came in very quiet to the program, but over the year turned into a special player. There were some moves I seen out of him, left-handed and right-handed, some hierarchy layups that are on the video, but the most improved player goes to Daniel. Don't have your award. All right, most valuable player. This was a hard one. We had a couple of guys, tall guys, that really combined for over 25 points per game. Tanner averaged 14 and Grant 11. They were a dominant force for the team. And so we've got co-MVPs this year, Tanner and Grant. And then lastly, I want to recognize the two eighth graders that we have, Tanner and Mason. Those guys were a blessing. We could throw them out there in any position, be it a point guard, be it a big, they could run the team. So kudos to these guys, and we thank and we hope you move on and grow into bigger things. Give them another hand. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Brian. All right, we're going to move on to our high school programs now. Next up is going to be our varsity girls, so I'll ask Coach Sylvester to bring his assistants and his team down. And while they're making their way down here, a few more thank yous. Special thanks to Tanya Disberger for volunteering to help us out this year with organizing senior night. That was another load off, and appreciate her and her ability to round up some troops to help her with that. So.
All right, thank you, Doug. Again, my name is Aaron Sylvester. I had the pleasure of coaching the varsity girls, and what a pleasure it was. If the varsity girls can make their way down, that'd be great. As they're making their way down, I want to also extend some thank yous. First, a quick thank you to my wife and family, just for understanding the sacrifice of what it takes sometimes as a head coach to spend time and efforts elsewhere. Big thank you to them. Big thank you to this guy right here. He doesn't smile a lot, but don't let that fool you. This guy looks like he's got a hard shell, but he is one of the kindest, most generous guys. And I encourage you, if you don't know him or his family, I encourage you to get to know them. They've been a great asset to this organization, and he was a tremendous help with me this year. Where I was weak, he was strong, and I thought we worked really well together. So big thank you to Sid. In fact, I thought he was so good that I thought he was worth $100 grand. So got him $100 grand. Never gets old, huh? A couple other quick thank yous. Doug Miracle, Lisa Miracle, Travis, Cambria Golf. None of this happens without any of them. And their selfless hours, sacrificial giving of their time, money, everything they do behind the scenes. It's a pretty thankless job. They get to hear all the complaints and all the what needs to be better. And so probably short on some of the compliments. So I just want to publicly thank them for all that they do and all they've done and all that they sacrifice. Another quick, huge shout out to the Krause family. Did anybody in here watch any of our games on YouTube or on Huddle? Yeah, that was because of the Krause family. They spent, I'm sure, a lot of their own money getting things set up, making sure iPads were where they needed to be. Brian, no doubt, spent endless hours of getting all of our video up on Huddle so that we could have stats for all these kids and so that we could get better as coaches and also scout different teams. So a big thank you to them. We have a small token appreciation for Brian and for Joy Krause. Also along, yes. Thank you. And I can't forget Joy being our team mom. Without Joy, Sid and I just can't coach. There's just that accountability factor, and so her sacrificial giving of being here every single practice, encouraging the girls, being here if somebody was sick, she would step into practice, and she'd also give encouragement to Coach Sid and I. So big thank you to Joy for being our team mom this year. And a quick thank you to Nate and Kathy. Really appreciate them. The whole girls program is a team effort, and it was great to work with them. We appreciate the fact that they allowed 4 of their girls to step up and play some minutes with us, and so it worked really well, and I just really appreciate you guys, so thank you very much. Last but not least, thank you to the parents and the fans. We love you guys. We love all the support that you give us. and specifically to the parents, I echo what Nate says. It's such an easy job coaching such wonderful individuals. You guys raised them well, and so big kudos to you. So, without further ado, I'd like to do it on the girls. I know I'm a little bit short on time, but if I could get a show of hands of who would give me at least 5 minutes to talk about the girls. Thank you. 5, 10, 15. All right, it looks like we got about an hour and a half, so I don't have to go quite as fast as I thought. But I do have about 14 pages of notes, so but I'll quickly go through them. So I'm just going to start numerically backwards and work forwards. But before I do that, we had some highs and some lows. And I was listening to Christian radio today, and they were talking about, in the Bible, it also talks about the valleys. And being in farming, I related with that. And how the valleys we typically think as very negatively. But in farming, if you farm in the valley, you farm with really good soil, you have water, you have nutrients, you have good soil, and but it also takes a lot of work to produce anything from that valley. And we had probably more valleys this year than what we would have liked, but the composure of these girls, the perseverance, just their ability to overcome some of the adversity that we faced was just fantastic. And again, that's a big kudos to the parents, but it's also just a big kudos to these girls for how they handled things. And I know for a lot of them, it was a new system that we started with, and so that was a challenge. And there's just numerous challenges throughout the season, but they stepped up and really pushed through, and I appreciate that. So, without further ado, Hannah. So, Hannah Clausen. When I say your name, if you step forward, that'd just be great, so everybody knows who I'm talking about. So, Hannah. When I think of Hannah, I think of moves. She's got the moves. It's near and dear to my heart. I played post in my career, but I never had the moves that this young lady has, and she's just beginning. And it's so exciting to see where she's going to go with this. She has this up and under move. If you haven't seen it, it's incredible. She scored several times this year, and so big kudos to Hannah for stepping up. She gives the other teams a tall task to guard her. So, good job, Hannah. Michaela Miracle. When I think of Michaela Miracle, I think of fire. This girl's on fire. She plays her heart out, and she's 100%, 110% everywhere she goes. Her defense is stellar, but yet her offense is calming and controlling. And she is going to be a force to be reckoned with in the years ahead. So, yep, Michaela Miracle. The throat puncher, Allie Shirley. So not a very becoming nickname for a young lady, but let me explain. So Allie Shirley, if anybody's ever been in a fight and got punched in the throat, it takes the air out of you. And in many of our games, Allie was there to knock down a three or take the air out of the other team. And it was incredible. She's got a high basketball IQ. This young lady, she's a joy to coach. She played through, she had a terrible injury last season, and praise God, she played the whole season without struggling with a knee injury. And so, but she's just tough, and she is definitely a throat puncher. She's also like a quarterback on the field, or on the court. I loved how Allie selflessly would make sure everybody was where they needed to be. And that's a quality that not everybody has, but she has it, and it was awesome. So great job, Allie. Avrin, this young lady, I'm so proud of her for so many reasons. Obviously, she's my daughter, and she has had wisdom beyond her years, and she continues to have wisdom beyond her years today. Just like Hannah has moves that I never had, Avrin has wisdom that I don't even have. It's amazing. But she's an encouragement to her teammates. She's very compassionate. She brings a lot of energy to the team. And I know she probably didn't get the minutes that she wanted, but she still brought energy, whether it was on the bench or every time she got out on the court. She just brought some energy. And so, along with that, we had devotion after every practice, and almost on point every time. Avrin would have some kind of key wisdom to impart to all of us. And so, for that reason, Avrin is going to be the recipient of one of our chief awards this year. So, Avrin, very proud of you. Love you. Thank you for letting me, as your dad, coach you. So, Avrin Sylvester. Morgan Disberger. So, coachable. comes to mind. As a coach, you want about 15 of these girls on your team. 15 Morgans on your team. She is so coachable. She comes to practice every day willing to work. She's always got a great attitude. She's always asking, how do I get better? How do I do this? Am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? I love coaching Morgan. She's a person of integrity. Believe it or not, coaches have eyes in the back of their head. And as I'm walking here or there and we've got drills going on, I'm looking to see who's dogging it and who's not. And there were times where her partner was dogging it and she wasn't. She was pushing hard. And every single drill, she was red in the face, just beat red and just working hard. And so she's a person of integrity and just super coachable. She was a workhorse for us all season long. So I appreciate you, Morgan. Great season. Morgan Isberg. Moving up from 14 to number 11, Kalia Joy. When I think of Callie, I think of meek, just like Kathy was talking about with my other daughter, yet mighty. Kalia, her confidence has just grown in leaps and bounds the last few years, and couldn't be more proud of her. She dominated, as you saw earlier, at the junior high level this year, and she's got the natural ability, again, that I always wished I would have had. And it just comes natural for her. She looks like a basketball player out on the court. She's athletic. She moves like a varsity player. And I'm super excited for the years to come for Kalia. So Kalia, meek and mild, but great job. Meek and mighty, I'm sorry. Number 5, I believe, Braylyn, or better known as BZ. When I think of Braylyn, I think of solid. This young lady is just a solid individual on the court or off the court. Her character shines. She's always got a great attitude. She's continually working on her skills. And again, probably another player that was frustrated with the time that she got, but the time is coming. She has everything she needs to be a stellar player. She's got unbelievable potential, and I'm just absolutely excited for her future. And again, not just on the basketball court, because like I said, she is a solid individual in every aspect of that word. And so it's a joy. It's always a joy to coach Braylon. I've gotten a chance to coach her several times, and she's just a wonderful individual. And so she's solid on the court, but also solid off the court. So great job, Braylon. Number 4, I believe, Grace Ryan. Grace, what a fun story Grace is. She's played sheep ball now. Was this her second year or third year? Second year. Yep. So she's been with us for 2 years, and what a fun story that Grace is. So Grace is going to be a co-recipient of our Chief Award as well. And the reason why is she obviously got great character, but the reason why she's getting the Chief Award is because halfway through the season we had a coach's corner in part of the practice where we sat down with each of the girls, kind of talked about strengths, weaknesses, things that they're doing well, things they can do better. And, they very much, all of them could have been like, what's that coach know about me? He doesn't really know, whatever, he's stupid, whatever. They all could have done that, but, and Grace, we just talked through some tough things, and she shined. Ever since that talk, she shined. I asked her to just take care of the ball, to be aggressive, to shoot. And towards the end of the season, I was looking for Grace to get her on the court. We needed her, and she became a staple of our team. And so she overcame a lot of adversity. And again, she could have chosen one direction, but she chose the higher road to continue to work hard and take the advice. And I thought it highly rewarded her, and she came through big for our team. So highlight for her career was against NEK. Did you hit 3 threes? Oh, just 2 threes? No, I think you had more. Anyways, she had a great game against NEK, and so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, she hit the first shot, I think. Yep. So Grace Ryan was the Co-Chief Award. Very good. Kathy Linhart. When I think of Kathy, I think of effort. She gives effort everywhere she goes, and every time I put her in the game, she played hard. In practice, she brought effort to practice. She pushed everybody to be better in practice, and so her effort was second to none with everybody. I will never forget her shot against Noah in nationals. I told her, if you don't shoot it and you're open, you're coming out. And she caught it, and nothing, and nailed the three, and it was awesome. So, but Kathy's got a great heart, and again, when I think of Kathy, I think of effort. She just gives a tremendous amount of effort. So, good job, Kathy. Number one, Sadie Kraus. So, Sadie Kraus, I have gotten the blessing, the opportunity to coach her since my first year of coaching, and she never disappoints. She's just such a hard worker. She's hustles and just plays her heart out. She's actually going to get our Most Improved Player award this year. Not because she started at a low level. We expected very high of her, but as the season went on, we encountered some adversities. She stepped it to the next level and really grew. She took the ball to the hoop and was doing everything and more than what we asked. And so, very rightfully so, we felt that she deserved the Most Improved Player award. So, congratulations, Sadie. Last but certainly not least, this young lady has poured her heart and soul into this program. She's literally blood, sweat, and tears into our program, and she's done more than just varsity basketball this year. She's obviously, like you saw, she helped tremendously with the junior high girls. She's a great role model, plays super hard every single play. Yes, Helen Zachary is going to be she's statistically and certainly seniority and just in every way that you can think of it, the most valuable player to our team. And so Helen is going to get the most valuable player of the year. Okay, I believe that's all we have. Thank you again to the parents and to you girls. Great season.
All right, thank you, coaches. All right, next up is our varsity boys. So I'll bring Coach Amaran up here. And if the high school boys want to make their way down. We'll probably talk to him for a little bit first. So. I might need those to sign up. Look at the awards. Who we missing? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, we had a nice crowd here. How do I turn this down? I feel like I'm way over talking. Is it loud? Okay. We had a great season this year. You can look out there and you can see there's a lot of great ball players, but even more than that, a lot of great kids. And I think that's, as other coaches have mentioned, a big product of their upbringing and their parents. And so there's a lot of thank yous that need to go out to parents. I guess I'm a coach, so I'm going to tell you there's a few things that need to be improved, though. Most of it has to do with hair. So, anyway, and on the way down here, I was asking my wife what she thought I needed to improve on, what I needed to do better on, and she said two things. She said, listening. I don't remember what the other one was. So, anyway, there's your dad joke for the day. So, we have like I said, we've got a great bunch of kids here. A lot of different levels in how God has blessed you guys, both on the floor, basketball-wise, talent-wise. Every one of you, though, is very valued in the eyes of God. I just want you to understand that and remember that as you go forward in whatever it is you do. If you seek Him and you continue to be in the Word
and as you go forward, just let him and his word guide you. You will be where you need to be. So we had a great season this year, both JV and varsity. We had 19 guys here plus one, Jason. So I'm going to go through a few of these guys to begin with. And so can you guys get in numerical order by your jersey number? That means you'd be on that side. And the bigger numbers would be over here. Do I need to stand between you guys? There's no fighting. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to. Can you not hear me?
No, I can't.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go down the line here and just say a few things. As Three Stooges would say a few syllables about each guy. Corbin Goff here was a freshman. He came in, and most of you who watched football knew that he had some abilities, and he continued to play football this season during basketball, and we loved it. He could manufacture a foul where there wasn't a foul to be had, but the aggressiveness and willing to come in and be physical with somebody was a plus for us, because there were a lot of times when we had a ball game going where they were letting it get physical. And so it kind of served a purpose of either they got to tighten it up a little bit, or their best player is going to get real frustrated pretty quick. So a lot of great things in the future, I believe, for this guy. Okay, his brother here, and I don't know, maybe I'll stand right here. There we go. I don't want to stand in front of you. His brother, Ethan, he's another great player. I just can't say enough about what he would do for maybe not himself, but his team, his teammates. Many of you saw he wore a sleeve on his shoulder. He probably needs surgery now, but he was gutting it out, toughing it out, and going out there and playing his heart out. And one of the things I remember he always said, we came into the season, we usually try to set a goal or want to have some standards. This year they wanted a goal, and it was only one goal. And his at one point when we thought maybe we weren't going to reach that, he was really downbeat. And his comment to me is, I didn't want to win it for myself. I wanted to win it for my teammates. And he said a couple in particular. I don't know if you want me to say that, but I'll just say he said it for a couple of teammates in particular. And that's kind of how Ethan played. And he'd play all game if we needed him to, or if whatever it took for it. And that's what he said. Whatever is going to. I know one game I came to him and said, hey, I may not start you this game. He's like, whatever you need to do, coach, so we can win. That's just his attitude, and that's going to take you a long ways in life. So appreciate it, Ethan. Elijah Upstraw. I like to call him by his brother's names. Not on purpose, but Elijah was one of those guys that if you're going to leave him open on the three-point line, he's going to make you pay. And as he continues to get back from his back injury and feel more comfortable and get his game up to speed, he's going to cause a lot of people a lot of problems if they don't respect what he can do. So I'm going to slide right on down. Grant, this guy, I've had to live with him for about 19 years now, and I think I'll keep him. He's been one of our big stalwarts on this team. He's really played hard, played well, has developed over the course of his game from junior high to high school, and he's become a big factor in what we've done. He's also one of the guys who I believe, well, two things. I believe if he wanted to, he could play somewhere beyond high school. I also believe he's one of the guys that could and maybe should consider at some point coaching other people, other players, because of his ability to not just know the game, but how he handles himself on the floor and conducts what he does. So, good job, Grant. Talking to you more in a minute. This is Josh Perry. Josh came to us from San Antonio, and if you wouldn't believe it, he doesn't speak like a Texan. But he really, really super great guy. I really have enjoyed knowing him. I've appreciated that he's come out and played, and he's had a couple knee issues that's kind of slowed him down, but you see flashes when either the knees are feeling good or he doesn't think about it, and you think, wow, this guy could really have, if he had another year or whatever, he could really make a difference. But what I'm most proud of him about is what he's planning to do afterwards, and he wants to go into, I would call it a mission field, where he wants to translate Bibles into languages in areas that are disadvantaged or don't have a lot of opportunities for biblical, just to be able to read the Bible. And where is that in particular? Probably Africa? Okay, maybe, he said. So, anyway. And then I think, what was the other thing? You wouldn't buy your senior meal over here because you, what was it? He said he's too cheap. So. All right, this is Big Joe DeLallo, and he can bring the beef whenever we need it, and he did many, many nights. I always thought if we could convince him that every game we played was against St. Mary's, it would have been something spectacular, because he was always ready to come and bring his very best game when he saw that SMA on their shirts or whatever they had. But Joe's a great kid. He'd do whatever you want, whatever you need him to do, and just tough nosed, willing to work hard, and great team player. Okay, this is BDC. Okay, for you guys that don't know, that's his nickname. It's Bulldog Chihuahua. So I guess another way to put it, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog, and he brought it every night. If there was a ball anywhere in his vicinity, you could bet he was going to have his hand on it and probably come away with it. And so that mentality, and the way he and several other guys that maybe didn't play as much as they would have liked to, but when they were out there, their mentality and their approach kind of inspired everybody else to step their game up and get after it too. So you may not know that, but you brought a lot of intangibles that our team really needed. So good job. Connor, he's one of the guys that I don't know how many times, and some of you guys probably did too, at nationals or other tournaments, they'd come up and say, "What, do you have to have a mullet to play on this team?" But Connor is another freshman that came in, and we, as he kept playing, we started seeing a little bit of opportunities to put him in on varsity. A lot of times it was for his intangibles, just coming in a little bit fresher and quick, and able to come in and put pressure on defenders or on the other team especially if we were pressing, and it allowed us to. He'd come in the second, third, fourth quarter, and you knew he was only going to play a few minutes here and there. So if he got a couple fouls, but not only that, it allowed us to buy a few minutes for some of those other guys that may have needed a break here and there. So we see and expect a lot of neat and good things from you in the future. So this is Brecken Wertenberger, and Brecken's one of our guys that's played a lot of minutes on the varsity. And when he was playing the way he's capable of, which, do you want to tell him what your nickname was? Plastic Man? because he'd just reach up there and his arms just kept going and he'd pull down that rebound. I don't know how. I mean, he'd come up with a rebound that you didn't think anybody had a chance getting, and the same way on defense. Their arms, a lot of these guys would stretch out and keep going and keep going. But when Brecken was playing the way we felt he was capable of and healthy, he was a force to be reckoned with, and oftentimes the major difference maker in the game. As the season wore on, a lot of times he drew the other team's best guard and was tasked with making their life miserable, and did a good job of that. So we look for a lot of good things in the future. Brecken's brother Leighton, and Leighton did a lot of playing on the JV, and he's one of those kids that has a lot of those intangibles too. He's quicker than he looks, and he came up with a lot of steals and just kind of sneaky. I think a little bit of it's probably his intelligence as well. So as he keeps developing and growing and getting stronger, I see a lot of neat things in your future as well. This is Aiden. Yeah, nobody's wearing boots tonight. So Aiden's one of our seniors. He's also one of the guys that I talked about a little bit before too, that I believe could play beyond high school if he wanted to. There's been several coaches who coach summer ball and or college coaches that I've talked to over the past few years, and they all felt like he could play at a pretty high level, somewhere a Division II, NAIA, somewhere in that area, if he so chooses or would choose to. And I also think that he's one of the guys that he didn't say a lot, but if you would watch his example, you could learn a lot from how he played. And I don't believe it's just how he plays. I think it's how he lives his life to the large degree. So, good job. This is Jace Moldrip. And Jace is one of those guys that he's a Moldrip, so he's gonna do one of two things. He's either gonna be a bulldog or he's gonna talk, or he kind of does both. But Jace is a great kid. Love to have him around. One thing I hadn't mentioned about the Moldrips too is when we do our devotions, which this year we studied as a team, we studied through Proverbs, and we did a proverb every day. And as we were studying, everybody started to understand, realize that Proverbs was actually written for young men. And so it was a great idea. It was a great idea to, as they found that out, to think about that the inspired Word of God was written in part for guys just like us, or just like you guys, not me, but me too, but I'm just way older, that's what I'm saying. And so it was really neat, and what I appreciated about the Moldrips is they were always willing to step up, step in, contribute to what we were talking about, and it was, it's very evident that they knew their Bible very well. So, like it. How's your blood? Oh man, Zane here. He's a guy that I really like a lot, and one of the things I really like about Zane is he sees stuff that needs to be done, and he'll say, "Hey, coach, can I do this?" Or, "Hey, coach, what can I do to help?" And he just was always willing to pitch in and help. I really appreciated that. I always have to tease him a little bit. He's kept me up over nationals a few nights, but it's a blood thing. So we love you with it, without it, and you're special in God's eyes no matter what you have there. And you do have a lot of basketball skill and acumen. I think there's a lot going on right up in here. So I don't know if you've ever thought about it, and you're young, but one of these days you might want to consider taking some kids and teaching them some things too, whether it be basketball or whatever it is you choose. This is Isaac. Isaac's also my son. And Isaac's one of those kids that has really seemed to mature over the last year or so. So much so that he found his way onto the varsity court during some of our games late in the season. And some of them were games we really needed. And I know one point in particular against the Blue Hawks, and he came in and really provided a spark. I don't know if he even scored, but his defense and just his energy that he brought out there when he came really kind of sparked us, and it was really exciting to see that. Isaac's probably famous saying is, "That's right. Good job." Love you, kid. Okay, this is Luke. Okay, and I don't know what to say about Luke. I guess, did any of you guys watch the national broadcast from when we played Aggieland? Because if you did, he's the thunder, he's the lightning, he's the tornado, he's the hurricane. What is it, the hurricane of points? What else do they say? Looks like if he fell down, something had to happen because there's nobody pushing him around on the court. So, Luke, but beyond that, Luke's got a great heart for the Lord. He initiated amongst most of the upperclassmen here a Bible study that they did on their own and are continuing in different studies now, correct? And, I don't know what we would do on this team without Luke. He's been a consistent Christian competitor, I would say. And I would believe at some point you need to consider leading others too. It doesn't necessarily need to be as a coach. It might be in a classroom or a Bible study, you're already doing it, but and I'll be talking to you some more later. Should we talk about your shoes? Anybody know what I'm talking about? If you haven't watched the PCA game from the Nationals, they were talking about his shoes, and they decided maybe they should be talking about something else. And we could talk about his shot too, but I think probably what Cody does for our basketball team is a ton more than just a shot, although he's hit some pretty darn clutch ones. If you find out that we had a lot of assists one game, it's probably because he had 10 or 12. If we had a really good rebounding game, he and several others were crashing the boards and just beasts on the boards. And his knowledge and the way he played the game could settle other guys or even kind of get them going. And he's another guy that I truly think, I don't know, if you decide to get out from behind the cow or jump off the tractor, you might want to think about getting involved and influencing and teaching some young kids something, whether it be golf or basketball or I don't know what. If you're good at tiddlywinks, think about that too. Okay, but special, and he's the last senior that I'm going to talk about, but what a special class of kids. They just, as a team, I don't know how many times we'd go to a tournament and Aiden would get a MVP award or an All-Star award, or Cody would, or Grant would, and I'd say to one of the others, well, I thought you were deserving too, and almost every time the response from any of those guys is, doesn't matter as long as we win. And so, they were always willing to put the team goals, the team in general ahead of what they wanted as an individual. And I just can't say enough about Cody and the rest of the seniors in that regard. This is the best dressed man right now. Okay, this is also one of our stretch guys. Okay, and I can't tell you how many shooters on the perimeter, and we did weird things with him. We made him guard on the perimeter, and it was odd for him, I think, but it was even more odd for those shooters. And I can think of one game in particular at Nationals when we were playing a team who, I don't know if everybody knows this, but their only loss in Nationals was to us. They had an all-star, all-American kid that was a good three-point shooter, and he'd already hit 2 or 3 of them. And Vincent blocked a couple of his three-point shots. I don't think he shot another three-pointer the rest of the game. It just, I don't know, messed with his head or something. He's like, oh, I can't shoot anymore, I guess. But anyway, there's a big factor in how we were able to survive that game, especially after losing Aiden with his ankle. So the fact that this kid didn't feel like he could shoot anymore for whatever reason. And then the other thing, he was pretty good. No, he was really good at being out on the perimeter, guarding, blocking out, and then running the floor. Really good at that. Decent at finishing the layup. But he is a freshman, so there's hope. And I think he's going to grow. I think he's going to mature. And some of those layups are probably going to go down a little bit easier next year because he's probably just going to flush them. So, good job. Lucas is another one of those guys that you know is just going to come out and hustle. And throughout the season, several times, I had people that would get in touch with me. Hey, coach, what can I do to get better? What do I need to work on? What do I need to do? What do I not need to do? And more than anybody else, this guy was the one that was reaching out to me about that. Now, he's not the only one, but he was clearly the one that was asking me more often than not. I didn't always have an answer. But I think it's clear that you've worked hard and tried to improve your game. You've wanted to, you've worked on your shots, and as you start figuring things out a little bit with your body, and as you finish maturing, I think there's a lot of neat things, a lot of big things coming for you too. So, good job. This is our other guy that doesn't get pushed around too often. Another football player that's playing basketball, but we've sure enjoyed having him. I would say what I hear from him is not a lot, but it's usually the same thing, pretty much. Do you know what it is? Oh, okay. Yes, sir? Just in case you don't know, his dad's military, so there's probably a little bit of background to that. But we'll try to do whatever you want, whatever we'd ask him to do. And as he was learning and understanding the game more and more, it was really fun to watch him play and see how far you've come. So, good job. All right. Yes, thank you. Time for some awards. All right, our most improved player award. This is, actually, we had a lot of trouble with who we were going to award some of these to. We had probably 3, 4, maybe 5 guys that we talked about who could be our most improved player. Because all of these guys brought something that they really worked on and really improved on throughout the course of the season. And there's I don't know, just so many guys to choose from. It was really difficult. But at the end of the day, we felt like this guy really improved his defense as the season wore on. He started to understand his role on the team and just seemed to take some steps forward that maybe separated him ever so slightly from some of the other guys that really improved as well. And this year's Most Improved Player Award goes to Breckenwortenberger. So I'm going to shake your hand and then you will get your award. Congratulations, Banquet. Do we need a photo op? Do we need a photo op?
Oh, it's okay. We're good.
Okay. Never mind. All right. Okay, got it. Okay, so this award was really probably the one that was easiest for us, and it's the Coaches Award. This award goes to somebody that the coaches feel like went above and beyond, did things that you wouldn't expect somebody to ordinarily do, did things with class, with character. It's just an award that we get to award for somebody that we feel like really stands out. And although there were several people that were deserving of this, there was this one to me was the no-brainer of the group. And this guy was clearly a team player, clearly in the Word, and just willing to do whatever he would do. He would put his body on the line, and he proved it by all the hardware he was wearing to make himself out there each night. And this award goes to Ethan Goff. Congratulations. All right. I think I know what this one is. Yeah, before we do that one, though, I'm jumping ship a little bit, and before we award the most valuable or the MVP or whatever it's called, we have come up with an award. It's not an every year award, but it's a special award, and I've termed it this year our Biblical All-Star. And you know who that is, so come on up. Yeah, you with the mullet. I know that doesn't knock that down too much. Congratulations. We already mentioned it, but I think it's worth mentioning again how much he's added to our Bible studies, and that he took it on his own from his own volition to start another study with several of the other guys on the team, and it's just I think it's paid dividends not just for you, but for all those guys that have been a part of it, and I know that the Lord would be pleased with what you're doing and how you're doing that, and I'm really proud to say that you're on our team and that you're one of my son's friends. So congratulations, Luke. But do not ride in a long car trip with him. Just a warning, just a warning. So, all right. So, most MVP, whatever it's called, this player did a lot of things. This player led our team in assists. This player led our team in charges. This player led our team in dunks. This player led our team in virtually everything that we kept statistical categories for. Okay? Most free throws, highest free throw percentage, best 3-point percentage, best 2-point percentage. What else? What am I missing? So, have I narrowed it down yet? Well, this is one of the ones that was pretty difficult for the coaching staff to come up with an answer for. And we narrowed it down to 3 guys. And those guys were Grant Amrine, Aiden Miracle, and Cody Shirley. So would you guys step forward a step? We had, I don't know, how many minutes and how many texts and conversations about this? A lot. Okay, he says a lot. Okay, and I know that's relative, but it was a lot compared to a lot. And when we finally came down to it, we decided that the most valuable player on this team was a trifecta of three guys. And so our most valuable MVP award this year goes to Grant, Aiden, and Cody. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, there's so many people. Somebody give me the boot. There are 1,000,001 people to thank. The coaching staff, Robbie and Aaron, that put so much time and effort and had to deal with me all the time. And I know that's probably not easy. If you don't believe them, ask my wife. Appreciate my wife and her willingness to let the kids and I be out of the house 3-4 nights a week, sometimes more. And she kind of had to help hold down the fort. There's so many other coaches, ADs, people that did our book for us. I mean, there's filming. There's just so many things, and I'm sure I'm missing a million other things. Parents that were always willing and able to do the things that we asked them to do, sometimes on short notice, to make sure their kids could be somewhere. The other thing I think I should mention is I want to thank Doug for letting our program get not just use Huddle, but also do the Huddle Assist. I counted it up sometime, and we had 364 team breakdowns this year on Huddle. Okay, that's 182 games that we had broke down. And so if you want to know, it was like $4 a team or $8 a breakdown. So we had a lot of information. I think, was it Sid or somebody that was still on the guys' side, was texting me saying, "Who are you getting film from now?" And so, but we use that to our advantage. Believe it or not, when we had to play Aggie Land and Bluegrass and PCA, we already had film on them. And it was an advantage to have. Now, some of it wasn't always a lot, but it was an advantage to kind of know what to expect and how a team conducted themselves. And it was a real advantage. It was a real treat to be able to use that and have all the statistical data. I don't know what else to say other than two things. This group ended up, well, a few things. They ended up 28-7, and I believe through our national adversity, we went through all sorts of emotion. We won our first game, and then we got pummeled in our second game of the day on Monday. And then the team that we needed to win on Tuesday lost, and for a while we thought we were out. Our team goal to win a gold ball was done. But we investigated a little bit and came to find out we still had a chance, and these guys made the most of that opportunity, and they did a couple things. They made their goal. And then they went ahead and went a little further. And they loved doing it so much, they even played 12 extra minutes. But what a way to go. What a way to go out, to ride a 4-game winning streak into the history books and into one thing we talked a little bit about during the course of the season is the season's not so much about the destination as it is the journey. And I, for one, would say I loved the journey that we went on with this group of coaches, administration, and these players. It's a special season that's going to live in my heart and mind as long as I am able to think clearly and understand what's going on. And I really, really have appreciated all the time and effort that these guys and everybody associated with them, coaches and everybody else, have put into this season. So I'm really, really thankful for that. And I guess that's it. So congratulations, guys.
Right. Thanks, Casey. While I got you up here, I think the secret's out, in case you didn't know, but the Amorines are going to be leaving us after this year. So Casey's been a big part of Chief organization, Casey and his family, with the support of his lovely wife, Rebecca, for about the past 10 years, I think. Is that right? About 2013? Yeah, I think it was 2013 if I did the math right, but yeah, so that's right. It's if you're looking for somebody to blame, I asked Casey to help me be the assistant coach. He showed up and kind of started talking and made me believe that he kind of knew what he was talking about with regard to basketball. And a few things about Casey. So he did a good job recognizing some of the players, called them out a little bit, and so turnabout's fair play. I think Casey might be dyslexic because when I sent out the text that said, "Coaches, I need you guys to keep it to 15 minutes," I think he heard 51 minutes. Mike's off. So anyway, no, but I like to pick on him. He started it 10 years ago when he showed up. He showed up at the first practice wearing a Dallas Cowboys shirt, and I love him anyways. It took me about 4 to 5 years to get over that, but he really is. He has been a great addition, a great part of our Chief organization. You know, some of these kids that we just recognized here at the senior level, and even some of them that are here tonight that have already graduated, have benefited from the knowledge that Casey has brought to the program. If you need somebody to make a short story long, he's your guy. If you get a call from him and you've got an extra hour and a half, go ahead and answer. Not always, but what else am I missing, Brian? We've done this together for the 10 years, but no. Seriously.
Used to be, they both had hair when I started.
Casey says that they had hair when he started talking, so good point. No, but really just wanted to recognize the Amorine family. Huge part of our organization, huge part of our lives for the past 10 years. Thank you for everything you've done. Our thoughts, prayers are going to be with you as you endeavor to take on the next challenge. And if there's ever anything you need, Chief Basketball's got your back. So. All right. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that if Isaac saw any of those guys, they wanted a place to stay for the next 4 or 5 years. We got plenty of room at the Miracle House. So, and Lydia, you're welcome to. Grant, nope. But just kidding, Grant. All right, we're going to move on to the next phase of tonight's program. Before we do that, a couple more thank yous. Travis Goff, he's been my assistant athletic director this year, which means Cambria Golf as well. Thank you for all your help throughout the year, especially during the NEKPL tournament where I turned out and ended up sick throughout the tournament and kind of hibernated up there, and I think Travis did the bulk of the work, so a lot of other things. Thanks to our chief board, which consists of Lance Upshaw, Charlotte Ditto, and then our 2 player coaches. Travis is a part of that board, Travis Goff, Casey Amrine, and Aaron Sylvester. They sit on that board, so thank you for all your help in making those tough board decisions throughout the year. And with that, a few other reminders. These posters up here, while we're doing the videos and throughout the dessert, we're going to take those down. So seniors, make sure you pick those up before you leave tonight. And with that, I think we're going to do this a little bit different. We're going to move into the highlight reels, but we're also going to open up the dessert buffet in the other room. So I'm going to cue my wife wherever she's at. She might already be in there eating, but if not, we're going to get the ice cream set out. So we'll start with the junior high programs. We're going to kill the lights, so be careful walking around here. Help yourself to some dessert. There is sound with it, so you might want to keep the noise down to a minimum. And we'll start, we'll do highlights and dessert at the same time, and then we'll kind of close things out right after the highlights and moving on. So if you want to come down and get a closer look, it's not an overly huge screen, but like I said, we are going to kill most of the lights. So.
Sawyer, take a shot.
Joey takes the shot. Oh, it's good. Come on, Max. Keely, sorry. Oh, good. Like Talia, she's hustling down. She's gonna throw the first leg. She can put it up. Oh, good pass. Ooh, hit by Brooklyn. She's gonna fly down. Good. It's gonna be challenging alone. That's number 3. Oh, Carly. Oh, good.
Zachary looks agree about the tee. That shot is good. It is good. That's fantastic.
Lady last night.
And that is
with a good deflection by Sadie Steele by Ellen. Ellen goes all the way down to finish this game out. We also good steal, Sadie Crouch. Sadie takes off with the dances.